If I was to make a list of the most disturbing movie scenes I could think of, it wouldn't be dominated with flesh-eating zombies or mad slashers. Most likely the list would be dominated by art films. You know, the kind of movie that only plays at the big city cinemas, that all the critics fall over themselves praising. Whether it's the woman performing her own clitorectomy in Lars Van Trier's Antichrist, or the sexually abused children forced to eat excrement in Pasolini's Salo, if you want to see something really disgusting, skip the straight-to-video horror flicks and pick up something European. Back in 1989, when all us rubes were flocking to Tim Burton's Batman, the intelligentsia rallied around a particularly nasty piece of work called The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. Starring the lady who played the Queen, the guy who played Dumbledore after the first actor croaked, and, believe it or not, the guy who provided the voice of Sauron in the Lord of the Ring movies. The opening scene is pretty memorable. An older gentleman is beaten up, stripped naked, urinated on, and forced to eat a big plate of shit. No one makes a classy movie like the English. The plot. Every night, the thief and his entourage of thugs come to Les Hollandaises, a fancy French restaurant that's the size of a fucking airplane hangar. The thief is a real bore. He picks on patrons, he gets sloppy drunk, he can't even pronounce the names of the stuff on the menu.
Terrine, a filet lamb, a poison, It's poisson. What did you say, Georgie? What did you say, Georgie? What did you say?
One customer in particular that annoys the thief is this nerdy guy, who every night sits at a table alone reading from a big stack of books.
This is a restaurant, not a library. The only thing you're allowed to read in here is the menu. You are insulting the chef.
I hate to say it, but the thief kind of has a point. It's pretty antisocial to sit there with your face stuck in a book. What, is he too good to talk to anyone else in the restaurant? If you want to read, stay the fuck home.
Oops, I am sorry.
The thief's wife takes an interest in the bookworm, shooting him glances from across the room. Soon, Bookworm is pulling the old, pretending to accidentally walk into the ladies' room trick, and the two of them stampede into the toilet stall for some anonymous banging. You know it's an art film when the plot is indistinguishable from that of a pornos. So, night after night, the wife tells the thief she's got to go use the crapper, but really she's going to the kitchen to bang the bookworm. No one in the kitchen seems to have any problem with this. In fact, they encourage it. No matter how disruptive or how many health code violations are broken, the wife and the bookworm are welcome to screw in the kitchen anytime they'd like. Obviously, the thief catches wind of his wife's dalliances, thanks to some nosy big mouth who gets a fork to the face, and rampages through the kitchen looking for the illicit couple. The cook saves them by sneaking their naked asses out of the restaurant. Now, he could have pulled his car to the back door and hidden them in his trunk, but either he's got a sense of humor, or he is passive-aggressively punishing them for dragging him into this mess because he sticks them in the back of a truck filled with vile, putrid meat that's been rotting in the sun the last several days. I mean, the actors don't do justice to how disgusting and rank that truck must stink. Is this supposed to be some sort of Adam and Eve metaphor? Here they are naked, being expelled from paradise? Maybe? I don't know. What I do know is that they have to stay the hell away from that restaurant. Instead, they holed up in Bookworm's palatial apartment. Boy, it must be nice to be rich and not have to work, but just lie in bed all day, screwing, napping, and having your favorite restaurant deliver you goose flesh and creme brulee and whatever the hell else.
I think perhaps we'll leave the singing.
I can't believe that asshole didn't let the kid finish his song. Do you have any idea what that kid suffered thanks to him? What an ingrate. To no one's surprise, the bookworm is killed by the thief's goons, who cram book pages down his throat. I have to give it up for this actor, for having the discipline to hold his dead face while she pulls those long ropes of paper out of his nose. I mean, that must have tickled like hell. I wonder how many takes were ruined by sneezing. The wife concocts a bizarre fairy tale revenge plan. The cook wishes these people would just leave him and his restaurant alone, but she demands he takes the bookworm's body, clean it, and cook it. It's like the working class is only there to do her bidding. Hey lady, strap on an apron and start pulling your own weight. The cooked body is presented to the thief, who's forced at gunpoint to eat.
Try the cock, Albert. It's a delicacy. And you know where it's been.
At last, she shoots him in the head, and scene. In America, the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover received the then new NC-17 rating, so Miramax decided to release it unrated. The film was widely praised, with many critics, such as Roger Ebert, alluding to the film's political message. Being North American instead of European, and admittedly not paying attention to politics back in 1989, I'm not exactly sure what this movie's supposed to be about. It's interesting that the thief's name is Albert Spica, so every time the cook addresses him, his accent makes him pronounce it Mr. Speaker.
Well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Thanks to Mr. Speaker's generosity, it is dark everywhere.
You know, like how the presiding officer of the House of Commons is addressed as Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker! Mr. Speaker!
The Speaker of the House between 1983 and 1992, during which the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover was made, was Bernard Wetherill. So maybe the movie's supposed to be about him? What did he do that was so special? Apparently, he was the last Mr. Speaker to wear the silly white wig. There's clearly some kind of symbolism going on in the film. You'll notice that the actor's clothing will change color depending which part of the restaurant they're in. Her red dress turns white when she goes into the bathroom, and his red shirt turns green when he goes into the kitchen. As for the overall message of the film, I think it's all right there in the opening scene. If you're not a rich criminal, or a snotty intellectual, but just a working man slaving away in a kitchen, expect to get shit on.
Next time I'll make you eat your own shit.
Shenanigans. It's been a lot of fun, shenanigans. But now we've got to run. It's funny how the minutes seem to fly.